On this, our 200th episode of Let's Talk Cincy.
This is something I'm ready for. This is something that I'm hungry to do.
Big changes for Cincinnati Public Schools as the district begins a new school year. A one-on-one conversation with Cincinnati Public Schools Interim Superintendent Shauna Murphy.
I want what's best for this city, for this community, for our kids, for our families, and the community as a whole.
From WLWT, this is the Emmy Award-winning show, Let's Talk Cincy. Presented by Western and Southern Financial Group. Put our financial strength behind you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Curtis Fuller, and welcome to Let's Talk Cincy. Today, I have a chance to talk with the interim superintendent of the second largest school district here in the state of Ohio. Of course, that's Cincinnati Public Schools. Here with me is the interim superintendent, Shauna Murphy. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
People should know that you and I have known each other a long time.
Long time.
And so I have followed your career, but I want people to get to know you a little bit.
Absolutely.
From those days where you wanted to do what I'm doing.
Oh my goodness, yes. High school days, I wanted to be a broadcast journalism major, and I went to Ohio University, studied, graduated, did a little bit of writing, but never really got into it, went right back into school with education. I was a substitute teacher with Cincinnati Public Schools for a couple of years. Went and taught English at Purcell Marian High School, my alma mater.
Yeah.
And then came to Cincinnati Public Schools and became an assistant principal at the School for Creative and Performing Arts, and then got a principalship at Hyde Park Elementary School, Quebec Heights Elementary School, and then one day Rosa Blackwell, the superintendent at the time, called me to her office and said, I need you to go to Woodward. And I did. I was at Woodward for 11 years and had a wonderful time there building community. The last 5 years, I've been an assistant superintendent / chief of student, family, and community engagement for the district, and now have the honor to serve as the interim superintendent.
How about that? I ask that because there are people who might not know you throughout greater Cincinnati, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. That happens. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted them to realize that you have worked hard to get to this position. This is not, you know, I know the selection process might have seemed rather quick to some people viewing it.
Correct.
But the vetting process has been going on for 30 plus years as far as your career.
I would agree with that. I have experiences in elementary schools, in high schools, in our district, in what we call neighborhood schools and what we call magnet schools. And I've also served at central office and also as the president of our CAS group, which is somewhat of a union organization for our administrators. And so I know a lot of people have had a lot of opportunities, varying opportunities in our school district, and feel extremely confident in being able to lead the work.
Well, it starts now. School is school. This new school year is here. A lot of changes. So let's talk about some of the changes that will occur. I know, first of all, people have been reading about the bus schedule and things of that nature. Talk a little bit about that.
Happy to talk about the bus schedule and situation. So first of all, we are in strong partnership with Metro. And we are having meetings with Metro to make sure our kids arrive to school on time. So this year, in an effort to close our budget gap, we took a look at the 7th and 8th graders who had previously been assigned to Metro as their mode of transportation in school, and saw that the $6.2 million gap that we had been left with a couple of weeks ago could be reduced by putting those 7th and 8th graders back on the Metro. There were other options, but we believe strongly that the other options would take more valuable services and opportunities away from kids. But we felt this Metro options could keep those other services in place while still making sure the kids got to school safely and on time.
Mm-hmm. People still might wonder, why no yellow school buses roaming around as much as we used to? Is it just a cost issue?
So all of our kids have the opportunity for the yellow bus grades K to 6, and we'll still have yellow bus services for the kids in the K-8 buildings who have traditionally had those services, and also in our schools such as Euler and SCPA who are K-12 in their experiences. So you will still see the yellow buses, and you will still see some of our 7th and 8th graders. This is just revisiting the 7th and 8th grade students who had previously been transported to school in such a way.
Oh, excellent. This new cell phone policy.
Absolutely.
Every school district is now dealing with this because it's something, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, must be mandated and in place by next summer, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So our school district has always had policy around cell phones. But what is happening to make it a little more heightened is the state has said all school districts must have a policy around cell phones. So what's so attractive about Cincinnati Public Schools right now is not that there's an implementation of a new policy, but a process and a procedure that we're putting in place is new. So last year at Hughes High School, Dr. Williams decided to pilot Yonder Pouches. And Yonder Pouches is simply a device, a pouch that locks, that kids will come to school, pick up their pouch, put their cell phone in it, lock it, keep the pouch with them throughout the day, and then unlock it at the end of the day when it's time to go home. And we believe this will help to lessen distractions in the classroom and to help kids stay focused on instruction for the day.
Were there exceptions there because where some students, for whatever reason, might need to have access to their phone?
So what Dr. Williams did is she ensured the parents and the students that if there had been a true emergency, they would have access to that phone. All of the teachers have the ability to unlock the device as well throughout the day. But what we want to emphasize is the days when I went to school, if my mom wanted to get in touch with me, she called the main office and vice versa. So we would really like to return to that system where that's the go-to and that's the priority option.
Wow. I remember those days too.
Yes, absolutely. And you didn't really want to get called to the office.
I know,
yeah.
I know. Hey, let me take a break and we'll come right back with more, talking to the interim superintendent of Cincinnati Public Schools, Shauna Murphy.
I would like more for the students to learn more about financials, especially in high school. That and giving the students more of a voice of what they want to do.
Teachers' passion, that kind of drives, the stance on education. If they're not happy with what they're teaching, then how can we expect them to really put that effort into our children? And that shows with their progression as well. So I think some of it is on the educator, but some of it is still with administration on how they can support the teachers to, gain that passion, and using resources to, amp that definitely could help, giving more support and, financially and just academically teaching the teachers how to teach.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Curtis Fuller. I'm here with the interim superintendent of Cincinnati Public Schools, Shauna Murphy, talking about some of the things that you'll be wrestling with. I mean, you're talking a school district of more than 35,000 students. Mm-hmm. I think I read upwards of 6,000 plus employees. So it's a heavy lift that you take on. So as you approach the school year, if you had to list some of your main concerns from an education standpoint, what are those priorities?
So you're absolutely right. 35,000 kids, 6,500 employees, plus our families, our caregivers, our partners. No one person can do this by themselves. We are in this together, and our theme this year is Here for Kids. And what that means is anybody who has any contact with a student, whether it is a teacher, a building principal, one of our community partners, we want to do everything that we can do, put everything in place that we possibly can in order to ensure the best academic outcomes for our kids. So sometimes our kids come to school and they may be hungry. What do we need to do to solve for hunger? How can we partner with organizations in our city to make sure our youngest learners are fed and ready to learn? What do we do when a kid needs clothing, shoes, school supplies, a book bag? What do we do when the night before they may have been in the emergency room at Children's Hospital? Instead of you're late for school, instead of you didn't do your homework, we're here for kids. Let's talk about why they don't have what we think they need to be successful.
One thing that all school districts throughout Ohio, throughout the country, have dealt with is getting kids to come to school. When I saw some of the numbers, I was actually surprised. I know COVID played a part of kids staying home, obviously, and not returning. But it is a major issue. Some might call it truancy, but this is just kids just staying away from school. How do you reverse that?
We have chronic absenteeism that we're dealing with, and our board recognizes that. And as a matter of fact, it's one of the goals that the board has set for us. And we're working really hard. Several years ago, we began to put a school social worker in every school building. There was one point in time when I was in the building and I had a school social worker 1 day a week. Well, that has shifted, that has changed for the good, and we appreciate all the hard work our school social workers do. In addition to that, we have attendant social workers who are monitoring all of our kids. And one thing that might be different when you and I went to school, if we had a doctor's appointment, we may have just stayed out the whole day. But now we're asking our families, even if you have a morning doctor's appointment, bring the child in the afternoon. We want to get them in school, in the classroom, in the seat for as much time as we possibly can, because we know every minute is valuable. We're also working with young people who are experiencing homelessness more than ever before. I work with someone on my team, Rebecca Beach, who's the manager of Project Connect. Amazing lady, amazing team. There was a time when Rebecca and her team worried about the kids who were sleeping in cars. Now sometimes we're grateful they have a car to sleep in, because there are so many young people sleeping under bridges in the city of Cincinnati. But the good news is Rebecca, Project Connect, and a lot of other partners are working really hard to end homelessness. That contributes to the chronic absenteeism that we're dealing with.
You know, when people hear that, they might not be able to imagine the number of families and the number of children who are homeless and the impact it has. And this is something that's been going on, not only the issue of homelessness, but also families that have to, for whatever reason, move around. So in the course of a school year, and this hasn't changed, maybe it has improved somewhat, but they might have to go to 2 or 3 schools in the course of a school year. I can't imagine what that would be.
A very transient population. And you and I know that staying in one building throughout the course of the year, having the same teacher, because it's relationships that matter. But what we teach in our schools is that we will have kids who are transient. We will have kids who are moving from school to school, district to district, county to county, but we're ready to receive them. We believe in accepting all kids. We are a public school district, and we're very proud to be a public school district who accepts all kids, all families, and we'll work to do whatever we need to do to help stabilize them so that they are ready to learn.
All right, let me take another break, and then when we come back, I want to talk about staffing, because you've been trying to get more teachers and more staff in Cincinnati Public Schools.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll take a break, and we'll be back in a moment.
Of course, giving kids options for coming out of school, going directly into the workforce, or prepping kids who...
I'd like to see shop come back into the Cincinnati Public Schools, metal shop, wood shop. I know I've asked a young man to get me a Phillips screwdriver, and he brought me back an ice pick, so he didn't know the difference. But wood shop, metal shop.
Welcome back. I'm here with the interim superintendent, Shauna Murphy of Cincinnati Public Schools. Getting people to be a part of the staff, again, a challenge for every school district. But you've been doing some things at CPS.
Absolutely. There is a teacher shortage across the United States. There are fewer and fewer people going into traditional educational programmings at the collegiate level. But our human resources team, led by Julia Indalacio, is doing a fabulous job of going out to the colleges, going out to the universities, incentivizing people to come to Cincinnati Public Schools, because we do believe and know that we are the best and have the best to offer. One of the programs I want to share that people in Cincinnati may not be aware of is the Literacy Lab's Leading Men Fellows. And that program works to attract young men of color, ages 18 to 24, into education. So whether they're able to become paraprofessionals assisting in the classroom or full-time teachers. So they are working with our youngest learners, our preschool children, teaching them literacy skills side by side with that classroom teacher. Well, we benefit from that because it puts a black or brown man of color in front of our youngest learners, some who never experienced a person of color teaching them. And then secondly, it also helps our pipeline for teachers. And so we want to do more of those kinds of things to get people exposed to what does education in 2024 look like, sound like, feel like.
You know, a lot of times people have said vocational training. Why was that taken out of schools? You will also hear people say that about the arts. You know, when I was in school, everyone played music. Now, we have a great, you know, School for Creative and Performing Arts, but this was something that was in all schools. Do you ever see that coming back to maybe not the level that it once was, but
I definitely appreciate the invitation to be here, because sometimes we're the best kept secret. Our board made a decision several years ago that the schools had to provide fine arts for the kids. So our kids do have access to art, music, emotional pieces in their daily curriculum. So I do see that returning and being enhanced. And we do have Dr. Izzy Rudnick, who is our fine arts manager for the district, providing opportunities for kids across the district to come together to perform and create bands and sound and other opportunities that they don't have because maybe they're smaller in number in their individual schools. Career and technical education is what is now known today, what we refer to as vocational education. So we do have career and technical programs in all of our high schools available to our kids. And one thing that we hope to do down the line is to create more of a centered approach so kids from across the district can come and get some of those experiences.
And kids now have this advantage of being able to take courses while they're in high school that can also be used in college. That's amazing.
Correct. So another one of our goals from our board is that we want to increase the number of students who have access to college courses and the number of our kids who are earning credentials, workforce industry credentials, so that they are ready to learn. If they're earning these college credits, that can save them financially. It can save them in terms of time. It can also provide them other opportunities to explore more courses when they are in college. The industry recognized credentials are amazing because the workforce is looking for kids who are truly prepared to start in industry. Maybe they don't want to go to college right away. That's fine. There are opportunities available for them where they can earn a livable wage, begin to take care of themselves and a family one day.
All right, we'll take a break and we'll be back in a moment.
It's probably hard with social media, being in, kids with their phones in the schools and stuff like that. It's a whole lot more stressful, I think, for this generation in school. I think mostly because of social media and the constant connection with cell phones and Facebook and Snapchat and things like that. We didn't have stuff like that then. So I think stress and anxiety, mental health seems to be a big issue. with kids now going to school?
I think we can aspire to, get our post-COVID children back on track. I think that that's really what can drive Cincinnati schools to a better point. Now that we're kind of 4 years from it, let's, get back on track to say, all right, what can we do, progression-wise, to say the next generation's gonna have to learn from that, but, we can do better.
I teach them more about life. I know that they do so much with the kids and like learning like things, but I feel like the parents have to start learning things themselves. It's a new generation, and we got to teach our kids more because we know only the schools do so much.
I will ask the obvious question, and I know you've given some thought. Why you? Why now? Things happen for a reason. Last year, this time, you weren't the superintendent. You weren't the interim superintendent. So, have you given thought to that? Why you? Why now?
The Shauna Murphy piece of this says there's a time and a place for everything, and it's all in his timing. And that's who I am, and that's what I believe. I think that we're prepared for things along the way, as you mentioned earlier, without being conscious of it, without even thinking about it. Opportunities are put before you, and you take them on and you do them, and there's a reason for it, but in that moment you don't really understand and grasp why. But this is something I'm ready for. This is something that I'm hungry to do. My daughter is a graduate of Cincinnati Public Schools. I have 2 grandchildren in Cincinnati Public Schools. I live in the city, in the community of Bond Hill. I want what's best for this city, for this community, for our kids, for our families, and the community as a whole. The kids will graduate and they'll contribute to this area, or they'll move on and contribute in other areas. And I want to do what I can to work with a team that's going to ensure they're ready. There are problems to solve, and I want to be a part of the problems to solve. I want to help families and students and staff get to yes as much as possible. I am so proud of the team that we have in Cincinnati Public Schools. I believe and know we are the best and best posed to do the job that's necessary.
I'm glad you didn't go into journalism. I might not have had a job here. Well,
You're kind.
It's always good to see you. You are always welcome here. And,
Thank you.
And thank you. I know you have a busy schedule. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
In this school year, and anything we can do to help you.
I appreciate
we
that.
will.
I appreciate it.
Well, that does it for the program today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Curtis Fuller. I'll see you next time for another edition of Let's Talk Cincy.